to introduce you to Maria and Eliseo. Maria, or as her friends like to call her, Güera, was born in a small town near Durango, Mexico. Eliseo, or Lichas as his friends like to call him, was born in an even smaller town near Jalisco, Mexico. They both worked from a very young age and had to stop going to school in the 2nd grade. They worked from sunup to sundown and still went to sleep hungry many nights. Güera was 15 and Lichas was 23 when they made the courageous and life-altering decision to leave their small town and head al otro lado, which is what they call the other side of the border. They were coming to America. They had no money and no idea what was in store for them. But what they did have was ganas, desire for a better life and desire to survive. They crossed the border in Tijuana with a fake ID. But why didn't they just wait in line? Or why didn't they do things the right way? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about how the U.S. immigration system is failing and the impact on society if we don't fix that system. First, I'm going to talk to you about how the legal process for immigration is failing, and then I'm going to talk to you about some of the causes for that failure. And finally, I'm going to talk about some of the significant contributions by immigrants and offer some solutions for fixing the problems. The immigration system is complex and overwhelming, but according to the book, Immigration Policy, Background and Laws, published in 2019, admission principles into the U.S. primarily fall into 3 categories: family reunification, labor market contribution, or humanitarian assistance. And according to the U.S. Green Card eligibility list from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services Department, published November 2nd, 2020, these principles are achieved by family or employee-sponsored visas, as well as the refugee or asylee process. These are minimal options and they're full of obstacles. Eliseo had a brother when he came into the U.S. So did the family sponsor route work for him? No, because family-sponsored visas are limited to immediate relatives and certain preferential relatives. But even if it had fit for him, according to the U.S. Department of State Visa Bulletin, March 2021, family-sponsored visas in some categories, wait time is up to 25 years. So Maria came and started working immediately. Could she have used the employee-sponsored route? Unfortunately, yearly visas for unskilled workers or those without a bachelor's degree are almost non-existent. How about the refugee or asylee system? According to WOLA, the Washington Office of Latin America article of March 15, 2018, 76% of asylum attorneys described cases of migrants and asylum seekers who were discouraged, threatened, or dissuaded from seeking asylum by Customs and Border Patrol. So what line should have Maria and Eliseo stood in? But now that you know how the process for legal immigration is failing, let me talk to you about some of the causes for the failures. If you ask 10 people what's wrong with the immigration system, you're going to get 11 responses. Everybody has a reason why. But according to the Cato Institute of December 18, 2020, they listed 26 causes of immigration system problems, but we're only going to go over a few. We already discussed the few eligibility categories, but also those categories have very static quotas on them. Remember that 25-year line? A lot of people in that 25-year line will age out when they turn 21, and then there'll be no other line for them to stand in. Now the employee-sponsored route, there are only 5,000 green cards available for unskilled workers or immigrants who do not have a college degree on a yearly basis. Now, why don't we just create new categories? Well, that requires congressional action. With immigration being such a hot topic, that's unlikely to happen. So now that you know some of the failings for the system, some of the reasons for the failing system, let me explain to you the significant contributions from immigrants and some solutions for fixing this problem. The plight of immigrants is sad and it's unfortunate. But why should the average U.S. citizen care about that? Well, according to the Pew Research Center report of February 12, 2021, immigrants and children of immigrants are 14% of the current U.S. Congress. That includes California's first Mexican-American Senator, Alex Padilla. He is the son of immigrants. His father, like many immigrants, worked in the food industry. And according to a Pew Research article, August 26, 2020, legal and unauthorized immigrants make up 23% of the nearly 8.2 million workers from the food industry. And during this pandemic, we all learned the importance of essential workers, especially migrant workers. And according to the New York Times, April 2nd, 2020, half of the crop hands, more than 1 million, are undocumented immigrants. But according to the growers, they state that that number could actually be as high as 75%. So what should we do? We should increase the visas to fit the needs of the farming economy. But better yet, we should have state-sponsored programs where each state sets the criteria for immigrants entering their state based on what the needs are for them. And remember that 25-year line? Everybody in that line has already been approved for a visa. Just because of those quotas, they haven't been able to get one. So give everybody that's already approved for a visa. Now, how about for those that don't have a line to wait in? Well, create a point-based system that has a path to legal residency. And points can be based on a number of criteria that can be achieved by the average immigrant. These are just a few ideas among many. But as you can see, if we do not fix our failing immigration system, every part of society will be impacted. Today we discussed how the current process for legal immigration is failing, and then I talked about some of the causes for the failure. And lastly, I explained the detrimental impact to society if we don't fix the system, and I also suggested ways that we can improve it. Now, Maria and Eliseo met in the U.S. and they married. Well, thanks to the 1986 amnesty bill signed by Ronald Reagan, they didn't have to live their lives worried about immigration catching them and deporting them. Instead, they built a life where they had 3 daughters, 11 grandkids, and 4 great-grandkids. And because Maria and Eliseo, who I like to call mom and dad, crossed that border, someday soon I'll get to cross the stage to get my college degree. I'm the proud daughter of immigrant parents. Thank you.